I am not good at Trackmania. Actually, I'm not that good at video games in general. I had my glory days of Tetris Friends and Titanfall 1, but generally I'm a pretty average player. This is as true for Trackmania as it is for most other games. The nature of this game, where you learn each individual track and play it over and over in order to refine performance and get a faster time, is something I find very relaxing. I can race against myself and play with the goal of improving. So when, in the daily cups, I find myself frequently in Division 30 rather than the top divisions like Division 1 or 2, I don't really mind. Comparing myself to other players is much less of a focus in this game. It's just me and the track, a race against the clock. But Trackmania is a complex game with many different mechanics and techniques that take lots of practice to master. So what happens when a casual player decides to do the impossible and hunt one of the most difficult medals on one of the most difficult surfaces? Given that I'm not very good, you might think I would prefer to play the easier tracks. Trackmania has several drivable surfaces, such as dirt or road, which are generally very popular, commonly found on many tracks, and well liked by the community. This was true at first. I liked grass because of the soothing rhythms, I liked dirt because it was easier to learn how to drive on it, and oddly enough, I liked wet plastic.
Oh my god! No, it's wet plastic!
Yeah, not many people like wet plastic. But I do. Anyway, you can imagine my surprise when I started to really enjoy one of Trackmania's least popular surfaces, ice. When you first drive ice, it seems counterintuitive at best and impossible at worst. In order to turn on ice, you have to do what is called an ice slide, where you turn, then counter-steer the opposite direction in order to swing your car sideways through the turn. To turn wider, you release the acceleration. To turn tighter, you tap your brake. Why does this work? I don't know. I really don't. But it does. The concept is easy enough on the surface, but it's actually pretty hard to learn. But playing these Cup of the Day maps helped me understand ice sliding, gear control, and release tapping, which are all important skills for improving on ice tracks. And on August 27th, 2022, I encountered an especially difficult ice map. The track of the day was Glacialis by MegaDroeftoeter. I did well on this map, getting a surprising Division 8. After the Cup, fewer than 10 players in the world had the author medal, which is the time set by the map creator as the hardest goal time for players to beat. I like a challenge, so motivated by my higher placement, I did something stupid. For the next week, I ignored all other tracks and hunted this track's author medal. At first, I improved frequently. In a game where 1/100th of a second can be an eternity, I was knocking off 4 or 5/10ths of a second every time. But it clearly wasn't going to be as easy as all that. I don't really hunt tracks in this game. I prefer to play a variety. Here, I felt the grind. On day 3, I didn't improve at all, which was frustrating since I knew that time was almost 2 seconds away from the author medal. By day 5 and 6, my time seemed stuck at 47.0 seconds. At this point, I wasn't sure how long I could continue the hunt. I just didn't have the time to play the track endlessly, and I was ignoring all other tracks just to focus on this one. But as I played, I began to see my mistakes. After several days of trying, I knew the anatomy of a good run. I could see myself going at least sub 47 seconds. To to do that, I would need to do these things. First, it was vital to go left at the start, so that I could ice slide right into the first corner. If I hit the angle correctly, I could go through with no brake taps or releases, maximizing my speed. The car would self-correct to set up for the next corner. That corner needed to be very tight, because going wide would send me too far out to the right, which took too long and cost me time. The next turn was the most important in the map. Taking it wrong would cause me to lose all of my speed, and eventually I figured out how to take a tight turn around the corner and not slow down. The toughest part of the map for me was that next corner into the downhill. I realized that it was inevitable to gear shift during the downhill, so my angle was extremely important. Going wide to the right would take too long. Going too far to the left would send me into the rocks. The last slide to the right was also a place I often lost time, since it was easy to swing too wide and it was difficult to stay far enough to the right without hitting the side. I needed to enter it already tight and then do a single brake tap to maintain a tight line as I cleared the lower corner. Then, I needed to go very close to this tree without brake tapping too much, while still maintaining the slide all the way into the next downhill around the far corner. Even one too many brake taps would ruin the angle, and I would clip the rocks while exiting the slide. The problem was that I was so inconsistent, I didn't know if I could piece it all together. It seemed deadlock around 47 seconds, and a full 1.5 seconds between me and the author medal. But then this happened. Hell yeah. Let's fucking go, baby. I played for another 15 or 20 minutes after that, but eventually I decided to stop. My start to the 46.7 time was actually not that good, so I knew I could improve a bit more. But realistically, I wasn't going to get the author medal anytime soon. After this, I went back to playing other tracks. My very next cup of the day, I was back where I belonged, all the way down in Division 37. But I'm okay with that. The great thing about Trackmania is that each of us can play what we enjoy and pursue the challenges that interest us the most. Only 8 people have the author medal on Glacialis. I may never get there myself, but I'm happy with what I accomplished. If nothing else, I think this shows that even casual players can compete if the track makes sense to them. Maybe my journey here can even help other players understand ice, even if I'm clearly not a world-class player. Regardless, I had fun here, which is ultimately the point. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and consider subscribing. Stay safe out there, and I will see you next time.